Good evening, children. Yesterday we discussed about the definitions of political science. We also actually talked about this one, the traditional definitions of political science and modern view of political science. Okay. So today we'll discuss the new concept, that is the two parts of politics. Okay. So we know that there are two parts of politics. One is the theoretical politics, other one is the applied politics. Okay. So here we can find that Friedrich Pollock, he divided the two concepts, theoretical politics and applied politics. Okay. So in theoretical part, we actually get the theoretical discussions, the theoretical presentation of the concept of state, government, everything. Okay. On the other hand, applied politics, it deals with how the theory works in actual conditions. Okay. How the theory is actually working in actual conditions. So many theories are actually enunciated by different writers, different thinkers, and different philosophers. Okay. So how their writing is applicable in the real world. Okay. Then secondly, it is concerned with the theories of government. We know that the different theories are there, okay, regarding the working of the government. And on the other hand, we can find it deals with how the theories of government is implementing in its proper way. Okay. So this is the part of applied politics, how the theory is working. Okay. How these are applicable for the human being, how these are applicable for the betterment of the society, right? Then it the theoretical politics, it actually formulates the legislation. Okay. It actually implements the process of legislation. On the other hand, applied politics, it deals with rules, regulations and procedures, right? And the theoretical politics, it speculates on state as an artificial person. But on the other hand, we can find that how the state is working, who is actually the leader of the state. These are actually the part of the applied politics. Okay, so you please prepare the question, make comparative study between the theoretical politics and applied politics. Okay, clear all of you? Then next topic is that the concept of behavioralism. I told you that the political theories the political discussions after the Second World War is actually known as the this one, the behavioralism. Okay, it is called as a modern concept of political science. Okay, then Harold Laswell, David Stern, they actually gave Catlin, they actually gave their concept regarding the this one, the behavioralism. Okay, it emerged after the Second World War, means after the 1945 era. Okay, after the year of 1945. So with that we also got the concept of Marxist also. Marxist, they actually gave their theories on the basis of economic concentration of power. Okay, they gave their analysis on the concept of economic development, and they actually believes the principles of the this one, the economic conditions, principles of economic condition. And on the other hand, they actually classified the two groups of people in their part. Okay, that is called the bourgeoisie and proletariat. Okay, so these are the concept of Marxism. So Marxist actually gave importance on the this one, the principle of haves and haves not, right? So in that way we can find that the different concept of political science are there. Afterwards we can find that the nature of political science. Yesterday we discussed about this point, that political science is not at all actually considered as a part of physical science. It's actually the totally social science. Okay, because we can find that there is actually the close affinity or the close relationship with the concept of sociology also. Okay, and we also find that there is some relationship with the concept of economics and history also, right? So these are the actually the questions from the what do you mean by the relationship between political science and sociology, political science and economics, political science and history also. Okay, So coming to the context that what are the relationship between the political science and sociology, we can come to the topic that that sociology is actually called sorry, sociology is actually called the mother of social science. Okay, what actually we study is in the concept of sociology. We you will yeah, in your graduation classes you will find that one part is there in political science. This is called the sociology. Okay, in sociology we'll study actually the different this one concept of social programs, social cultural activities. Okay, you will find that the customs and traditions of different peoples are there. Okay, in single words we can find India is actually the yeah, considered as the different multilingual country. Okay, and on the other hand we can find that the different customs actually prevail in different parts of our country, right? uh, Marriage systems is also different, then other cultural programs are also different. So we can find that this combines, everything combines in the subject of sociology. Okay, and political science is actually correlates with the concept of different systems. Okay, there is actually the close relationship is there. Political science is a study of state and government. We know it's a basic fact, but on the other hand we can find that in different states also different functions are there. Okay, so naturally we can understand, we actually understand that there is actually the close relationship is there. Okay, it is actually considered as a mother of social science, sociology. Okay, on the other hand we can find that in economics also, economics is actually called the science of wealth. Okay, you will find that in the subject of economics that Alfred Marshall Robbins, they are actually called the basic pillars of economics. Okay, so economics is a science of wealth, and on the other hand we can find that there is actually a close relationship between political science and economics also. Economics it actually gives the idea of economic conditions of a country. Okay, it's a true concept. We can understand the GDP. Okay, now we can find that GDP of every country in the world is very much poor. This one, because of this one, the present situation. Okay, and we can also get the idea of different economic revolution, different economic problems from the subject of political science. Okay, whenever we can find that there is actually the economic conditions is good in any country, there is actually the little or very few chances of revolution are there. Okay, because everybody is satisfied with the economic conditions of the country. Okay, then people are very happy whenever the economic condition is good for every country. Okay, any country. So there is actually the little chances of revolution, right? And in the subject of history it is also very important, because history studies the past incident, right? The present rulers of the country, they actually get the idea of administration from the ancient period of time. Okay, for example the civil law, then criminal law, these are actually based on the ancient principles, right? So John Seeley, he is actually the renowned political thinker. He gave that history, he also defines in different way that history is actually the past politics. Okay, and political science is the present politics. Okay, so he also gave that without history has no root, and without political science also without political science there is no fruit. Okay, so in that way we can find that history is actually combines with the subject of political science also. Okay, so every thinker, every uh, political leader, they actually based their concepts on the basis of the history. So there is actually the close relationship is there between history and political science. Got the point? Then we can find that the utility of the subject of political science. What do you mean by the utility of the subject of political science? Utility means, do you know that what is the meaning of utility? Utility is called the uses of the subject of political science. So here we can find that it gives knowledge about the state. we can find that by study of political science, the people can know the how and why the state was organized in the past, and why it is actually the why it is actually exists today. Okay, and it also enlightens people about the aims and functions of the state. It actually gives the broad outlooks regarding the functions and aims of the state. Okay, so it is called the knowledges of the state. The student of political science can understand the knowledge of the state also. Okay, then afterwards you can find that the rights and obligation. You know, you have the fundamental rights. Okay, you studied the fundamental rights in class 10. Okay, so you remember what are the fundamental rights, how many rights are there in the Indian Constitution, and what are the articles related with the concept of fundamental rights. Okay, so the rights and obligations. So we know that we have the rights and we have to perform some duties also. Fundamental duties are also enlisted in our constitution. So the lessons of political science is very fruitful, and political science makes people conscious about their rights and obligations. So people who are mentally equipped with the knowledge of rights and obligation are the assets of the state. Clear? So it is actually the political science. It gives the rights and duties of the state. Okay, it gives the ideas regarding the rights and duties of the state. Then we can find that political consciousness. So everyone is actually everyone should be conscious regarding the political conditions of the country, and the study of political science makes people politically conscious, and well-informed citizens are ever vigilant. It is actually considered that well-informed person is actually considered as ever vigilant, and without high level of political conscious, people cannot take part in a political life. So this is actually considered as a third utility of the subject of political science. Then we can find the sound opinion. Okay, this is also another that utility of the subject of political science, that political science enables us individual to give his sound opinion on the problems involving political, social, economic principles, and people can express their opinion only when they are well informed about the problems. Okay, so sound opinion should be there. The people should conscious regarding the political problems of the state, and sound opinion should be there. Okay, people should give their opinion for the different types of problems also, and it also broadens the outlook. A study of political science actually will broaden the outlook of the citizen, and they will be in a position to know the problems of the state, and they will also realize the importance and the value of the living together. Okay, value of living together, and it also gives the international outlook also. A student of political science should know that the international organizations in the world. Okay, they should know the functions of the UNO and the other international laws also. So this is actually for today, and you prepare the I gave the short questions, 10 short questions I think yesterday I gave, and I'll give the broad questions, and you have book also with you everyone, so I'll give the marking from the book. Okay, so for that reason you should bring your book, all of you. Okay, and I'll give the marking. Broad questions I'll give the marking, or short questions 2 or 4 marks question I'll give. Okay, and through the WhatsApp. So all of you please take care. Okay, stay at home and read properly the lesson, and you read thoroughly the textbook. Okay, so that you can answer the question 1 and 2 marks question easily. Okay, bye, take care.